You going live yet?
Yeah, just gone. So welcome all. And tonight's one-to-one interview is with Mel Mel's channel, and he's from New York. So Mel Mel, could you tell us a bit about your channel, please?
Well, on my channel, hello to everybody. Let me not be so rude in all different time zones that you exist. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. What I do on my channel, I do vlogs, I do poetry, I do opinionated videos, just about life, things that go on. Every once in a while, you may catch me doing some comedy when I feel like I'm funny, or I might try to sing, but that's so, not so often. As far as what I do is just more lifestyle and stuff like that. I'm just trying to figure it out like anybody else,
Yeah,
So
I have had a look at a few of your videos this morning.
yeah.
I looked at all the way back to when you first started 3 years ago.
Oh
And,
wow, wow, wow.
and I looked at a lot of your poetry, which is very, very good, I must
I
say.
appreciate that.
Really pleased with it.
Yes.
But what I particularly liked was your series that you used to do, such as the gratitude 30
You
days
know,
of gratitude.
what's funny? I thought about bringing that back.
Yeah, I thought that was a brilliant series. Because I mean, people when they sub to a channel don't usually look back at old videos of what people have done, and I
Yeah.
found that series very, very interesting. Because I mean, as you say, or as I say, it was 3 years ago when you did that, and
Mm-hmm.
you was only just starting then, weren't you, Mel Mel?
Yeah, I was, but I definitely appreciate you for doing that. It was suggested to me by somebody that was on Google Plus. They were saying how, in the world there's so much negativity and there's so many things that people complain about. So what if you just took 30 days to figure out, what are you grateful for? And I said, you know what, let me try this thing out. And it became something that turned into a life of its own. And I really, at the end of the 30 days, was just grateful for life, grateful to have, an opportunity to just try to get it right. So I thank you again, Eaglevp, for going back to watch that and bringing that up. Wow,
Well,
I didn't
it
expect
was a
that.
fascinating series. I mean, because it's gratitude. I mean, you had prayer in there, you had faith in there, you had life in general in there. And I watched every one of them.
Wow, wow,
So,
wow. I mean, wow. Okay, wow. Because somebody suggested that I do like 60 days and 90 days, even to the point of 365 days. I'm not there yet, but I think one of these years or days or whatever, I'll start 365 days. And I may start the series up again. And I challenge you or anybody else to start a 30-day, of gratitude, I mean, there's a lot of things in life to be grateful for, even when things seem their darkest, yeah, like they say it's always the darkest before the dawn, so you never know what comes of it.
no, well, looking at that, I thought, oh, that'd be a good collab for 30 days.
Of course.
I fancy doing that with you if you fancy doing that in the future.
No, definitely. We just set up a time,
Yeah,
because people are sleeping and stuff like that, and they have lives and stuff that's going on. And,
yeah,
and I thank you for having me on because we've been trying to set this up for quite a while now, and I'm just grateful to be on with you,
yeah,
because I didn't want you to think I was blowing you off or anything. I just got a lot that I'm doing, so it
yeah.
is an honor being on your channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're a busy man, I mean, you're working, I'm retired, so I've got all the time in the
But
world.
you're still busy too. I seen you on a couple of live streams, man. I seen you with Random Life, man. And you were doing your thing. Crimson Fantasy was on too. Great channels. And you're quite the socialite on YouTube.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not as good as Granny Monster, though, I mean, Granny
Oh
Monster.
well, Granny Monster is a legend. She's a star. I mean, you mentioned her name, people's face lights up.
Yeah. I'm
So
trying to get her into one of these one-to-one interviews, but I never
no,
managed
it's working.
for the first.
No,
And
no, and not to cut you off, but your one-to-one interviews are really an engaging series. I really do watch them. I'm not familiar with all the channels that you interview, but it brings light and it sheds lights on channels that are not getting their just due.
yeah. Well, that's why I do them, because it's a way of meeting people, fellow YouTubers such as yourself. I mean, I watch I've watched quite a lot of your films lately, you know, since I've been subscribed to you, and I've only been subscribed, it must be what, about 3-4 months. So when so you get to learn, you get to know a person, and you've got some very, very strong views, you know. I mean, like the last one you did when you was out live streaming with that young lady, you had some very, very good opinions there. Which I fully agree with on those, you know. And I mean, the thing is that I also thought that a video that I watched this morning was your thoughts on life, which I agree with everything you mentioned in that video, which was very, very interesting.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you agree as well, but I also try to speak to the folks that don't agree. You know what I mean? Because we all have things that we disagree on, but my thing is to be open-minded and civil with whoever I'm talking to, because people have different cultures, different lifestyles, different religions, economics, you know, situations going on. So I want to try to be open to have a civil dialogue with anybody.
Yeah. So can you also see the chat on the live stream, Mel Mel?
Say that again. Say that last part again.
Can you see the chat as well on your?
No, I can't see the chat actually.
Well, we've got Granny Monster in the house. We've also got.
Oh wow! Okay, Granny Monster, what's going on?
We've got Arena from. I don't know where she's from. We've also got Drone Wolf Media on now, and they all say hi to you. So
hello, everybody.
So what do we call? What do I call you? Do I call you Mel Mel or Mel?
Mel is fine. You could. My niece and nephews call me Uncle Mel Mel, but it's just Mel Mel. You know, they actually started it. My nieces and nephews, they started the whole Mel Mel situation. You know, because my name.
That's where you got the channel name from your nieces.
Yeah, from my niece and nephew. They just started, you know, calling me Uncle Mel Mel, and you know, people call me, you know, family friends and stuff like that. So you know, my friends and whatnot call me Mel Mel. I could put my name out there and all that stuff regular, but you know, if you have friends and stuff, just refer to me as friends do, Mel Mel or Mel. Yeah. It's fine. Either one is fine.
And you know, I'll call you, call him Smooth. Laughs out loud. That's Granny Monster, and we've got.
Well, Granny Monster is so grateful from the beginning when she started following my channel. She's just been a big supporter. I can't say enough about Granny Monster, Pet Monster, Angie Monster, Lava Monster, Jitlit. The whole Monster family, the Create Not Hate movement. Those folks have just embraced a whole bunch of people, and I think they need to be acknowledged and shouted out and stuff like that. You know.
Well, this is why we all appreciate you on YouTube, Mel Mel, because you know, I mean, as I said, your poetry is excellent, and the collab that you did with Steve, Crimson Fantasy.
Yeah. Me and him have more. We have more to come. Me and Crimson Fantasy, and I appreciate it. But as far as my poetry went, it took some time to just get to that point, and I still have a lot to learn. But I know people across the pond, they definitely appreciate poetry, so I'm grateful for that. Who knows? Maybe one day I may come there and do some spoken words in London somewhere. You know, I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yeah.
But definitely, I'm appreciative to all of you, because actually, if you don't know Eaglevp, you, Granny Monster, Crimson Fantasy, Random Life, you're some of the reasons why I even stay on YouTube, because I wasn't sure. You know, it's really about the community, because especially if you're not on here making any money or you're not getting the views like some of the bigger YouTubers, why are you here? You know. So if you have a community of folks, fine folks like yourself, it makes it worth uploading videos and having conversations like this.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm on YouTube, you know, because I mean, I just want to. It gives me an interest in life to go out and make some films. All right, if I only get one view, that wouldn't bother me at all, because it's just the thought that I can go out. And now we've got into live streams. I thoroughly enjoy those, because you're meeting people from all over the world, and the community we've got on here, they're brilliant people. And
that's true. That's
you know, I've learned a lot from them as well. You know, I watched most of the people that I subscribe to. I watch their videos, and I always learn from them.
That's true. We should be able to learn from each other, and you know what? It's just a great thing, especially with this technology, to be able to connect, like you said, with different people from all over the world. I mean, because, you know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, this conversation wasn't even possible in such a way. And now look at it. We're just, you know, seamlessly having a conversation as if you're sitting across from me in the same room, you know,
Yeah.
digitally you are.
Although Random would have something to say about my wallpaper.
Yeah, well, random. I want to get on a live stream with Random. That she's awesome. She's another awesome channel. Very creative. I love her vlogs, her perspective on life. She's very insightful and creative. Always inspirational. She's a blessing to know. And like I said, it just makes it worth coming on YouTube and just you know, interacting with you folks. And just to add to you, your videos are not going to get one view. We're going to make sure you don't just have one view on your videos.
I appreciate that. Well, as I say, it won't bother me though, Mel Mel. So, what was I going to ask you now? I've got a few questions because I mean,
yeah, no, ask all the questions. Ask some more. Ask some more.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about you as a person. I mean, I've seen your poetry,
go ahead.
And I've seen your opinions that you've on the films that you've made and uploaded to YouTube. But what I think I've got here, you seem to be a man of faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not as faithful as I ought to be, but I am somebody who believes in God. You know, I do have a certain, you know, a way of faith. I'm not so much into the religious aspect of it as far as denominations go, but I do believe in God. So
yeah. Well, you know, I don't normally get into that, but because a lot of your poetry is faith based, I thought, well, I'd just ask you. And one of the films that I watched today was when you was in the car with your brother and your mother. Is your brother involved in YouTube at all? Has he got a channel or?
He has a channel. My brother is very interesting. He's not sure what he wants to do yet. You know, my brother is in the name 90 Glock or whatever. He's a character. Out of the two, me and my brother is actually the wilder one. So he's very interesting. When he figures it out, we'll upload some videos and do that thing on his channel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I gathered that he was the comic in the family, you know. And
he thinks he's the comic, but yeah, he's the comic. I'm more of the straight man as far as the routine goes, you know. So, yeah, you know, like I said, my brother, he's crazy, but he hasn't uploaded anything yet, though.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to let us know when he does, when he joins YouTube, and he has.
It may be a little bit graphic. Some he's not as PG as myself, but he's wild. He's definitely entertaining. I'll say it to say the least.
Yeah. So if you don't want to answer any of my questions, Mel, you're quite all right. So I'm going to ask you what you do for a living now at present.
No, it's nothing wrong with that. I'll answer all your questions. I have no problem. Because see, here's the thing: when you ask questions, this is what I'll say to anybody. It depends on the intent, where you're coming from. Are you trying to set me up, or are you doing a gotcha question? If you're just asking me straight up questions, even if you ask me a question I don't want to answer or I don't like to answer, I can just respond in kind.
Yeah.
So I say ask the questions because I want to give you an honest interview. I want to try to give you a fair, you know, estimation of who I am from this brief period.
Yeah. Well, this is it, because other people are watching, and I don't know how much Granny knows about you. You know, I know she follows your channel and she's praised you up and everything like that. And because on one of the videos, I think it was your grandmother had just passed away, and you lost your job.
Yeah, that was a rough time.
That must have been a very, very rough time. But you came on.
I can talk about it. I can talk about
it, and it was very brought me to tears a bit. That, you know, because you was very straight talking about it.
Well, what happened was that was actually the day that she passed away, and I had to go to work. And not the funny thing about it, but the crazy thing about it was I was in the room when she caught the stroke, and my mother was holding her hand, and it was intense because, you know, you're seeing somebody basically deteriorate before your eyes, and it was a rough situation. We really didn't know what to do, because if we didn't call the EMS at that time, or the emergency services, she probably would have died there. So what happened with that was she didn't die that particular day she caught the stroke, which wasn't the day I did the video. It was like 2 or 3 months before, and she slowly but surely deteriorated to the point where she had to be put in hospice care. And at that time, I was going through a lot because after I had found out that she passed away, right, I was fired from my job, like literally in the same week. So that was a rough time for me. I was fired. My grandmother passed away, and then I'm unemployed. So that was an interesting situation. It was some soul searching that I needed to do, and I'll say this to anybody. The reason I tell the story is great to have a good support system when you're going through things. Because if I didn't have a good support system, then maybe I could have went to a dark place that I didn't need to be. So, like I said, it's easy to talk about now in retrospect, but it's about the strength that you gain from going through these situations. I'm not a quitter. I'm not somebody who likes to fold easily. So I could talk about these things.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. So, here's another one that I got from your videos that I'll look through. Your passions in life. What are your passions in life?
Well, believe it or not, I do have a passion for art, for business. Most people probably can't tell. I have a passion for business. I mean, I love people. I love talking to different people. No matter your race, no matter your color, your background, your sexuality, wherever you come from. I just have a love and a passion for people, for art, for business, poetry as well. Those particular type of things. I'm into nature. That's why it was easy to connect with your channel. I saw the bald eagle. I was like, God, that's interesting. So, I have those type of passions. I do have a passion for women. We'll leave that to another time. But like I said, I'm like anybody else. I'm like anybody else. I have certain passions for life.
Yeah.
I like. No, go ahead.
Sorry, Mel. Mel.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Whereabouts in New York do you live at present?
Oh yeah. I live in the southernmost point of Brooklyn. Well, maybe you could say the southernmost point of Brooklyn. I live over across from the Statue of Liberty in the Red Hook section of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's across from where basically the Twin Towers went down in 9/11 and stuff like that. I'm across from there in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and
So,
it's a lot going on here right now.
yeah. So, do you cross the Brooklyn Bridge to go to work?
No, I do not. That would be a long journey because
Oh,
I mean, if I rode a bike, maybe I could. I actually go through the subway, the metro system.
yeah.
I take the F train most of the time, so it goes past the Brooklyn Bridge, but not across.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
It's just
no,
one who I
no, go ahead.
subscribe to, Fishy Comics, who's in the chat. He often drives over the Brooklyn Bridge, and he
You can
takes
you can
the camera.
drive, yeah.
So I didn't know whether you followed Fishy Comics as well.
Well, I've heard the name, but if I was driving, then I could go to work driving across the Brooklyn Bridge. Have I been driven across the Brooklyn Bridge to the FDR Drive? For those that are familiar with New York, yes. That's when I have the time and I have money for Uber cab or something like that. But more than likely, I save money by taking the transit system, the MTA system.
Yeah,
275 per ride. That works for me.
yeah. So
Yeah.
how far is Staten Island from you then?
How far from Staten Island?
Yeah,
I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm not that far from Staten Island. It's just it's tricky because I have an IKEA over here by me, so the IKEA can take me to Staten Island from here, in Brooklyn, or I can actually go to Lower Manhattan, Bowling Green, and catch the ferry there. It's pretty quick for me to get to Staten Island.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
I also follow a guy called Chris, the hobby guy,
Uh-huh.
um, and he lives on Staten Island. So I follow about 3 or 4 people from New York now.
Yeah. New York is a very beautiful place. I tell anybody you get a chance, come out here, visit, shout me a holler, shout anybody from a holler. Staten Island is also a beautiful place. I know a couple of people out there in Staten Island. Who knows? I might do some videos from Staten Island. It's a very beautiful place. A very beautiful place. So you get a chance to ride the Staten Island ferry, take some pictures, see some sights, get you a famous New York hot dog or something like that if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
Like I said, great place.
Granny Monster is asking the guys here on the chat whether they would prefer to be called video makers or filmmakers. What's your opinion on that one, Mel Mel?
I I'm split on that. It depends. I mean, if you're doing like a one-off situation, it depends on the production. If you're gonna put heavy production into what you're doing, promotion, a press junket, or just a circuit around YouTube or something like that, then I would say that's more of a film. If you're somebody that's doing something like a one-off video, you have an opinion piece, or you may just go out and about and do a vlog style video, then I would say you're like a video maker or something like that.
Yeah,
But I believe the two are interchangeable depending on the production of your content.
yeah,
That's how
yeah.
I feel about
it. Matt's Big Dream says he uses the term videographer. Yeah, I think that's what I would use, because that's what I am, is a videographer.
You can do a videographer, but see, you're somebody who, when you say from a videographer standpoint, you're somebody who's actually, you know, viewing other people or trying to get other people involved. So you're looking at it from your lens with yourself in the picture, but then you're taking yourself out of the picture and you're looking at life itself and people in life. So I can see where you would say, okay, I'm a videographer. But when somebody, maybe sometimes like myself or Granny Monster, other people, if you're one of the, or Pet Monster, somebody, if you're one of the main subjects in your piece, do you still say you're a videographer? And I ask you that.
Yeah, a filmmaker, really. Yeah, I think a filmmaker in that sense. Then
I think it's all interchangeable depending on the level of your content. If you're trying to put something to tell a bigger story, than what it takes, in just one short video, because you can look at it this way. You can have short films, you can have larger films. Some on YouTube, do a lot of people do short films? Yes, that's what the platform is for. Do people do larger pieces? Yes. But it's all interchangeable depending on the perspective you come from, the production, how you promote it, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to make a feature film. So I would say filmmaker. Yeah. Definitely. So, another series I enjoyed, which I found fascinating, was your Stories to Solve series based on the book Stories to Solve.
Yeah. I had to be careful with that because I want to make sure I didn't get sued. That's the reality. But the book was out of print, and that was just something I just did one off because you know what, I like to have people think. I have this book on brain teasers and whatnot. I might have to get in touch with the company to see if I want, I can do it on YouTube without getting sued. But I just like to have people think, I mean, I like to be entertaining as well, just like anybody else, but I want to have people actually, ponder about things and actually, challenge the way that they see things, your perception of life and stuff like that. And if I can do that in any little video, any way I can.
Yeah. Well, I would have thought you would have been sued for because you're publishing a book and you're putting your thoughts into that, really. So, or your opinions. So I would have thought you could have been sued for that. I mean, I might be wrong.
It's dicey. It's really dicey when it comes to copyrights because, copyright strikes, because I see how it works a lot of times. They'll leave you alone when you're not getting a lot of views, you're not getting a lot of attention. But then if it becomes a big thing, then you got people coming out the woodwork. The state wants something, you have lawyers and stuff that get involved. And now you have to, basically decide whether or not you're going to take the content down or risk losing your channel, all these other type of things that happen. So I tell anybody it's best to reach out to the content creators of the original content, find out what the law is, know where you stand as far as the guidelines are concerned, and then do what you have to do.
Yeah, because one of the films in that series was Heaven and Hell. And
yeah.
I looked at that, and the way you portrayed that from the book as well was brilliant, because it's, as you said, I don't know whether any of the people who are watching this video have seen that one on Heaven and Hell that Mel put up. Absolutely brilliant, wasn't it, Mel Mel? Because when you first did it, you didn't give the answer until a couple of videos later. And I was trying to work it out.
Yeah, the reason I do that, I wanted to do it like the book because I wanted to give people a chance to think. My favorite one from that series was actually the one with the judge. I thought that was my favorite, how the judge actually handled that. And I'll leave it for anybody else to watch that if they want to. Hold on. My headphones knocked out. Sorry about that. Yeah. No, but definitely, I appreciate you for watching that series. You know, thank you for going through my videos and whatnot. Like
Yeah,
I said, I watched some of yours as well, and now I got to go through some more of your content to check you out because I was watching your series that you did with the channels that you were featuring on the drones.
yeah,
I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
yeah.
You know, but
That takes a lot of doing because I spend hours looking for good footage of drones, aerial footage, because to me, it isn't just about the aerial footage.
mhm.
You know, I mean, aerial footage is good in its place, but you want the ground shots, you want the really, you want interviews with people who know that area or tell a story. So
Yeah, definitely.
to watch 7 or 8 minutes of drone footage is boring. But if
Yeah,
right,
yes it is. Yes it can be. I mean, unfortunately.
yeah, it's like anything, you know. Video is all about condensing time and to telling a story. Um, that's why I enjoy these one-to-one interviews because I always learn from whoever I'm talking to. Like with Thorn Draven, he was fascinating about talking to him about his photography skills. He's a brilliant photographer, great guy, great channel that
Mhm.
he's got. It's like Random Life Productions. Fantastic. She is a random channel. She's about everything and nothing.
Well, the thing with Random, she can take you on a journey, like her Kaleidoscope series. I mean, I got to the point where it almost brought tears to my eyes because it was so beautiful with the things that she was doing. You know, because you could sit there and you could just like get caught up in the majesty of somebody's work. And then with her voice, she has a nice, easy voice. So she's magnificent in how she puts together her production, you know. And she also has a great personality when she's on the live stream. So, you know, like I said, stuff like that you definitely want to check out. I tell anybody out there, check out Random Life's channel.
Yeah,
She definitely deserves your support.
yeah. And I noticed 5 6 months ago you started your series on movie reviews, and
Yes.
that's another one. You know, I thought was a good series, but you seem to have stopped for a while now. You know, because there's some good movies coming out.
Well, I'm not going to stop totally. It's like this. It gets interesting because when I do movie reviews, I tend to want to have people in it with me because it's like the drone situation, like you're saying. Sometimes when you're just watching 7 minutes or 8 minutes of a particular content, it can get boring. I mean, I love to see myself on camera, but sometimes people don't just want to hear from me. So if I can include other people in, I do. But a lot of times I have to do it by myself because you know people's different schedules and stuff like that. And it can be a challenge to be entertaining and at the same time try to give an honest review. So
Yeah,
I'm not a movie reviewer. I'm just a person that loves going to movies and watching movies. I'm not going to stop that. It's just that also too you factor in, do you have the time to go and make sure you have the budget for the month for the movie to go see it and stuff like that. But it's something that I'm going to continue though, definitely.
yeah. Because I like that thought that really you should do movie reviews, live streaming with 2 or 3 other people that are
You know
interested.
what? That's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea.
And because I've got a friend who's a music collector here in Cleethorpes, and he wants to do a music review show, have 3 or 4 on, play a record and get their opinions and their reviews of it. So he doesn't monetize his channel, so he can do that. But he's
Well,
learning how to stream because he's never streamed.
the issue that he's going to come into to play with that is this: he can stream it and he won't catch the strike, but I don't know if he's going to be able to actually have it upload. Like while the stream is going live, they won't give him the strike. So he may have a live show, but now the issue comes into whether or not you keep that live show up and you risk getting copyright strikes from people with certain content because they have the content ID on YouTube.
Yeah,
So, you know, if they hear a certain song or something like that, then you could risk losing the channel, even if it's not monetized, because my channel is not monetized. So,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, that's why, you know, I mean, I thought that the movie reviews were brilliant. But as you said, to do a review show like that, it's better to have 2 or 3 people's opinion.
Exactly.
So you've got a cross opinion of people's views on the latest movie releases.
Yeah, because the movie review that people liked the most with me was the Alien Covenant review that I did. People really liked that. They were into that one because I had like 3 or 4 people. It was funny. Sometimes it wasn't even really about the movie at one point. Sometimes it's about the interaction between the people. And I understand that. So when I bring a movie review to somebody, I want to have a situation where, you know what, it is entertaining as much as it is insightful, and, you know, go see the movie or whatever. Because you don't need me to tell you to go see a movie. If you really want to see it, you're going to go see it. But the interaction that I have with the people that I went to go see the movie, that's something you can't get if you go by yourself.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
That's what happens.
In what ways do you see your channel growing then, or what ways would you like to see it go, Mel?
You know what's kind of crazy about that? I thought about that because I was gonna delete the channel, to be honest with you, at one point, and I would like to see it move more into a variety situation. You know, like what I'm doing now. I mean, I don't want to say I'm like the Ed Sullivan or anything like that, but I would like to have an Ed Sullivan situation to where, you know what, I set up a show where I could just showcase other talent and let them do their thing. You know, when I get the chance to do something like that. You know, as for me personally, I'm still going to do my poetry and the vlogs and other things that I do, but I'll be here, you know, I'll be here as long as I can. I would like for the channel to grow, but I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not putting any pressure on myself.
No. Well, this is it, because I mean, to grow a channel takes time. You've got the basis of a very, very good channel, you know, because you've got over 400 subscribers. I mean, I've been a YouTuber since 2007, and up to what is it, the 8th month, up to 8 months ago, I only had 300 odd subscribers. I've grown to 720 or thereabouts now.
Congratulations.
But you've got to put up, the more content you put up, the more subscribers you get, because people then look for that, like the poetry one. If you put up a poetry, 2 poems a week, and then do a live stream and something and a movie review, people get used to the time and days that you upload. So then they get used to your channel, because for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't been putting a lot up. So your channel doesn't grow because people look to the content that you're putting on.
I definitely agree with that. I'll add to it though. It's good to put out content consistently, but it's something like you said, people earlier on in the conversation, people don't actually go back and watch their old content. One of the biggest things that to me, what helped me grow was first off, interacting with folks like you, just actually commenting on other people's videos, which I was told to do because I wasn't thinking about it. And then 2, you study yourself, you study your content, you see where you made mistakes. You try to, you know, look at different improvements, because I watch my videos all the time. Any video that I've done or released or whatever the case, I go back and I see, well, how could I do this better? How could I phrase this? How could I be more entertaining? Am I speaking too much? Should I edit the video better? Is the lighting right? Is it the color situation? It's like even now, you know, I'm consciously thinking about, you know, I put the shades on, I have my little robe, its colors popping and contrasting. I mean, I'm looking like this crazy character or whatever the case, but guess what? It helps people engage more in the content that I'm producing. And if you're not a student of your own work, it makes it difficult for you to be honest with yourself and grow in a real organic way. You know, so I definitely agree that you should put out content on a consistent basis, you know, but then life happens and stuff like that. But I still say the quality and substance of your content will make up for you not always posting every day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Agreed on that fully. But it's like your poetry. I thoroughly enjoyed every one that I watched this morning. The only constructive criticism I could give for that
No, give me. I'll take all criticism.
That you could put a lot more images in that relate to your poem.
Yeah, definitely. That just comes with me learning to edit more better, because it's like Crimson Fantasy. He's a
Yeah,
great editor, and he doesn't get enough credit for the editing that he does with his videos. That's why a lot of people like the collaboration that me and Crimson Fantasy did recently.
yeah,
So it's just me learning to edit better and put more images and stuff. Because I agree with you. You know, I should have more images and things in there. But I try to reserve some of my poetry because I don't want to give people too much, because people have been asking me to put out a book. So eventually I have to do that.
yeah,
And I'm just building. I'm just really connecting because I'm like you. You know, I didn't have any subscribers at certain points, and I'm surprised that I have 200 and I'm no 200 427 subscribers now. You know, but it happens. Like you said, you interact with people, you put out content, people get used to you. You know, and it grows from there.
yeah.
Because
Oh,
to tell you the truth, the beginning of this year I only had like 39,000 views. Now I'm almost up to 70,000 views.
yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah,
got to put out the content.
yeah, yeah. Well, this is it. You know, I mean, it's like such as me. I mean, I follow people local to me who have got
Hmm.
drones, and like we've
Hmm.
got Grimsby Dock Tower here. I
Okay.
think with the drone, I've had about 70 views on it. He's only got 28 subscribers, and he's had 7,000, over 7,000 views on his. And I think, well, what's the big difference? And I just don't know, because he's only got, maybe it's in the title.
Well, what happens with that also too, it's the substance. Sometimes it's how you portray yourself. It's the audience that you connected to. And then it's like somebody had to tell me, if I do the same type of video, let's say me and you do the same type of video, you already have a bigger audience than I do. You already share maybe in certain social medias that I'm not on. So what happens is you're going to have a wider reach than me, because I don't see the other things that you're doing outside of that particular video. Some people, what I've seen is they upload YouTube videos and they only put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
So now they're not putting it on Instagram and Facebook or YouTube, or I'm not YouTube, or Google Plus or Tumblr, and they're not going through the promotion of their video. I think what happens with a lot of these videos, people don't learn how to promote their own videos and market their own videos. Not in a way that's cringy or creepy, but in a way to let people know that you put out a video. Like, you
yeah,
know who's great at doing that? Pet Monster. Pet
yeah,
Monster, every time they do live streams, they'll put out certain promotional videos saying, look, we're going to do a live stream on Friday or Saturday or something. Even Granny Monster does it.
yeah,
And what it does, it lets people know that you're going to put out content. Like even with you, Eagle, if you're going to disappear, let's say you disappear for 6 months for whatever reason.
yeah,
But if you come back and you have promotional videos saying that on such and such a day, Eaglevp is live, 1-to-1, so on and so forth, that let people know that, hey, you're going to be around. And I think we don't do that enough. And a lot of people haven't learned how to market and produce themselves in a certain way to where, okay, people know.
yeah,
Sometimes that's just the difference.
yeah, yeah. I agree on that, because I do not promote my channel at all. I've got a Facebook page, but I don't promote anything on it. I don't even upload me videos to Facebook.
You should. You should. But I'll tell you this much. I mean, because I'm not on Facebook, but people have been telling me, look, you go on Facebook, you join a couple of groups, put your videos in there, and it'll gain more of a pop. Most people don't even know that on YouTube, I don't get most of my views from YouTube.
Yeah,
With the core group of people like yourself, Granny Monster, Pet Monster, I have that. But a lot of my views may come from Twitter or Google Plus or you know, somewhere else. Somebody will reach a friend to reshare it. So you have to reach out to other spaces.
yeah, yeah.
You
Which,
know.
which I've got to really learn, because I know I've recently joined quite a few groups on YouTube, in Google Plus, but I haven't uploaded me videos to that group because I don't know how to. So if anybody can tell me how to do that, I would gladly do that, because it's
Well,
like,
it's a share button.
you know, I have joined about 4 drone groups on Google Plus. But how do you get your video onto those groups? Because I don't know.
Well, do you do it from your computer or do you do it from a smartphone?
I do it all from my computer.
Well, there should be a tab on there, excuse me, on your video that tells you to reshare. it's like a reshare tab, and when you check the reshare tab, it tells, gives you options, either Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter. So when you click on Google Plus, you'll go into Google Plus. It should take you there, and then it'll have groups, whatever groups that you're attached to,
Yeah, yeah,
and you'll pick the group that you're attached to, and then
yeah,
you just click your video on it. It'll link your video. Especially, I don't know if your account is synced up with Google Plus. Is it?
yeah. My account is, yeah.
Yeah, so you should be able to share directly from YouTube to Google Plus, or even well, Facebook is a little bit more complicated because you have to actually post the link if
Yeah,
they didn't change it. So somebody from Facebook could tell you more about that. But it's not hard, and even and I don't want to volunteer Granny Monster services, but I imagine if you ask Granny Monster, she might help you out with that one.
yeah. Oh, she would do, yeah. She's
Mhm.
helped that way. Let's have a look. Um, oh, yeah, that's another question I want to ask you, Mel Mel.
Mhm.
What's your thoughts on daily vlogging?
Well, my thoughts on daily vlogging is, honestly, and some people may not like that, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. If you have the time to do it and you have the passion for it, then I say go for it. But it's very time consuming. I mean, in the beginning, if you just want to grow your channel and you just want to get views, it's a great tool to do that. But after a while, you'll see that it can actually take over your life, and you have to be very careful with that. You know.
Mm.
So I mean, even like the big YouTubers, Casey Neistat had to stop daily vlogging, and then he got back on, and then he's got to take breaks and stuff like that. So you have to really pace yourself with daily vlogging. Know your pace, know your limits. Some people believe they don't have them, but you'll find that out quickly when you start vlogging every day how time consuming it can be.
Yeah, yeah. So do you call yourself a vlogger then, Mel Mel?
Honestly, I don't. Some people would suggest that I am. I don't, because I'm so sporadic with my content. I'm more of like a content creator, or you could call me more like a producer or something like that, or somebody who's more into the behind the scenes stuff, even though I do stuff on the camera. I
Mm.
don't consider myself a daily vlogger.
No, no. But your poetry wise, then, are you going to produce a book on poetry?
I am. I'm just trying to figure out the right things to say, because I have tons of poetry. I could show you books and books of poetry. I could just put out a collection tomorrow if I wanted to. But I
Yeah,
wanted to say something. I wanted to be true to who I am, and it's taken me quite a while. Is I may have maybe overthinking it too much, but I just want to have the right situation together,
yeah,
and that more than likely I'll put out an ebook or something like that. But I'll let the people know when it's ready,
yeah.
because
So,
some people have been asking for it.
yeah. So, could I take one of your poems, one of your films that you've done a poem on, and edit it with
Yeah,
images that I could put on it? And
yeah. Any of my poetry that's out there, if you want to use it, if anybody wants to use it, it's more than fine. Just don't make me look bad. Though, I don't want anybody throw it up to next to something, crazy or something. I don't, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
There was one or two that I really thought, oh yeah, I could put the images to that, and then
Yeah, no, definitely,
I,
definitely.
I would put it back on your channel. I would. So
Yeah, just hit me up in the collab. I mean, listen, because Crimson Fantasy asked, and I told him, yeah, if you want me to even write something for you, I can write something for you. Just let me know the theme, give me the time. I've collaborated with Pet Monster. I want to do a collaboration with Random Life, with Granny Monster, if she'll have me. And then everybody that wants to collaborate with me, especially on a poetry or some other way, I'm down for it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Then really do. Because I did enjoy. Well, I have enjoyed every one that I've looked at this morning, and I spent 2 hours going through because, I was trying to find questions to ask you.
Yeah, no, I listen, I'm grateful for you to do the research, to take the time to watch my videos. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah,
So I mean, you can ask me anything you want to ask me.
yeah. Another one that I watched was "In This Broken World, Why Live
Say it
Forever."
again.
That was "In This Broken World, Why Live Forever." That was
Oh
another
wow.
one of your videos that I looked at and I thought was interesting.
Oh wow, wow, wow. You're taking it there. I actually forgot about that one. Wow,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
wow.
you had some interesting, you know, it was an interesting video. That's what I said. I really looked and I tried to find out as much as I can before I do the
Yeah, yeah. Because
person.
I am very. No, go ahead. Say your piece.
Yeah, to get to know the person, and so you've got something that you can ask about, and you know their thoughts on the subject that they created. Because there's some people, you know, it's like the drone channels that I look at. I look at the channel and they've got no information about anything, and you're thinking, well, I'm reviewing their channel, and I always leave a comment and I ask them for their permission to review their channel, and I always asked for some information about the person or their channel, and you'd be surprised, nobody ever gets back to me.
Well, I've learned with that too. Sometimes, you know, the people don't know themselves, you know, what to make of it. Sometimes people, you know, randomly throw things out there and they're just trying to see what works. You know, you hear people say, you know, just go with the flow. You know, some people sometimes are just drawing at straws and seeing what works.
Yeah.
You know, and if it works, then it's like, wow, but they really have no idea of the substance or the principles for what they're putting out there. It's almost like sometimes when people do things, it's almost like a fluke to them. You know, so when you ask them these questions, they don't really know because they were guessing, they were gambling. You know,
yeah,
that's just my perspective on
it. Guess who's just come on in the chat?
Who?
Your favorite young lady from London.
Oh, Random Life. Well, hello, Random Life. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Actually, you know, to tell the truth, and I have to give Random Life credit. She's one of the ones that suggested that I do live. She actually suggested that I do the one-to-one with you. And I know it's somebody else she wanted me to speak with too. So when she said it, I was like, you know what? She means well, and she's coming from a great place. Why not? Why not? You know, she's a very, very big supporter, and I'm a very big supporter of her work as well. If she's on and she's listening, her Kaleidoscope series is very awesome, and her vlogs and everything are very awesome. I don't know. Is there any questions in the audience anybody has for me? Any questions they want to ask?
I'm looking, and they haven't. We've got Matt's Big Dream on. We've got Random Life. We've got there's 7 watching now. So I haven't seen Thorn or Granny Monster make any more comments.
But yeah, well, Granny Monster, I know she's busy. She's probably gonna be doing a live stream later on herself. I'm always grateful for Granny Monster because Granny Monster, just like yourself, she's watched so many of my videos. There's times when I'm on and I didn't expect her to show up, and she'd show up and leave a comment and whatnot. She's so grateful and gracious with her time. Yeah. And like I said, I appreciate anybody that comes, you know, and comments and likes and subscribes to my videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. It's not lost on me. I mean, it's really not. And I try to get to people as I can.
Yeah. Well, this is it. We all enjoy watching your films, videos, and live streams now. You know, especially when you're outside, because that recent one,
I know people said that. People said that.
I don't know whereabouts you was because you didn't mention.
The recent one that I did.
Yeah.
I was actually in Midtown Manhattan. I work out there, so you know, I work in Midtown Manhattan, and I just was over by the area, so we just decided to do it there. It was well lit, and I said, why not? I like to go outside too, but in New York, it's kind of funny because when you're walking around filming yourself, people do look at you strange for a little bit, and then you have the police, because what you didn't see on camera, you had the police circling the block and making sure nothing's going on, and I'm like, yeah, no, we're good. It's just YouTube, so.
But you get that wherever you are, you know. If you're talking to a camera, people look at you funny, don't they?
Well, in New York, it's a lot different because people are very suspicious of things in New York. You know, New York is like, why are you filming me? Or get the camera out my face, or what's going on over there? They don't mind if you're entertaining them, but to be the subject of that entertainment, be careful.
Yeah. So you've got a question here, Mel Mel, from Matt's Big Dream. He says he hasn't seen anything from you. So what video would you suggest that he watches?
If he was to watch a video, I think it's my trailer video with my niece, the one I did with my niece, just to have an idea of what I can do, the family affair vlog. That was probably a turning point for me in YouTube when I did that video, because I wasn't really taking it that serious, and I wasn't aware of what I could do. So when I did that video and I started to open my eyes a little bit, and my niece was involved, she's a great, you know, addition to just my channel as well when she comes on. So if anybody wants to see a video, doesn't know much about me, watch the trailer video, Family Affair. I think that's a good video. You'll get an idea of what I
Yeah.
do.
How long ago was that? Because I watched it, but I can't remember how long ago it was now.
I think it may have been a year or so ago, almost 2 years or so.
Yeah, yeah.
Since I
So
did that
you've got to
video.
go back 2 years, Matt, to watch that one. But
Yeah.
it's poetry. All of his videos are really worth watching, Matt. And I would recommend anybody who's watching or listening to this to go over to Mel Mel's channel and have a look at his work. It's brilliant.
I appreciate that. The earlier videos are a little rough, but it's still something there. You can tell that I was trying to go somewhere. I mean, because realistically, I tell anybody if they wanted to know the story, why I even came on YouTube. I had a bad breakup in a relationship, and I was trying to avoid putting any negative energy into that. So I just started uploading videos as a way, almost like a therapy or something like that. And it started to blossom into something which I wanted to do anyway, because I wanted to put my poetry and stuff like that out there. But I guess it took a bad breakup for me to say, you know what, let me upload stuff. Because I had my channel in 2013, the first half, and I didn't use it. So I didn't use my channel until like maybe October of 2013. And then I started from there.
Yeah, and it has grown, and it will grow, Mel Mel, because you've got such a great community that we're a part of.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, it's not lost on me. I'm very grateful. This is not the last folks are going to see of me. I'm the type of person that if anybody's out there, you have a live stream, don't be surprised if I pop up on your live stream, even if you don't know me. If you know Eaglevp and you know Granny Monster and they're on your live stream, chances are I may pop up on the live stream too. So just look out for me.
Yeah,
because I was on. No, go ahead.
Yeah, you'll have to get on Random's live stream.
Oh no, Random is a joy to go with, because she, like you said, she can talk about everything and nothing at the same time, and it's engaging. And she's very inspiring in her energy, her gust for life. So when I listen to her just talk, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Have you joined in Matt's Big Dream from the Rasta Room on a Friday night at 5 p.m.
No, unfortunately, I have not, because I'm usually working at that time. There's a lot of live streams that I miss because I'm actually at work. So what I try to do is I catch up with it when I can, or like days like today, I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm also busy too, because after I finish off with this, I have to go to court and I have some things that I have to do. But definitely I try to catch up with what I can. So one of these days I will.
So when are you going to do a live stream then? From home, yeah.
From home, I don't know if I'm going to do one today, because I was thinking about doing one today. If I do a live stream, it may be either today or tomorrow. I have a radio show to do tomorrow, so I really don't know. I really don't know.
Can you tell us a bit more about this radio show then, Mel Mel? Oh,
the radio show is a radio show of one of my friends, Young Realness. He's on WVMR. It's an internet radio show. It's going to be his last show tomorrow. So I'm going there. It's his last radio show. I'm just showing up to show support in Queens, New York. We're basically going to do a lot of drinking, and there may be some swearing in there, some things that I don't put on my normal channel. So, but there'll be some elements there. And I'm just going out there to show some support for somebody that I follow on Twitter, and I know personally, a guy by the name of Young Realness.
Yeah.
I do many different things. I try to support many different people in their efforts, creatively, because it's like Country Girl. I was on her live stream last night. I don't know if you know Country Girl.
No.
No, I met her through Black Death. I met Black Death through Granny Monster. Like I said, it's a whole bunch of people. And Country Girl was talking about basically how we have to support each other as YouTubers, especially small YouTubers, because, that's the only way you're going to grow.
Yeah. Matt's Big Dreams asked another question. He says, how much do you charge?
Charge for what? I don't understand that one either, but charge for what?
Charge for what, Matt? Please,
please elaborate.
Yeah, I'll let you know if he does. We've got Jeffy's World. Martin's on now. He says hello to us.
Hello.
John, So we're back up to 9 watches.
Okay, that's pretty deep.
No. What are your charges for court? That's what the question is.
Oh, no. I'm a mediator, actually. I'm a trained mediator. I'm actually just going there to do a mediation.
Oh, no. That must be a very interesting job then.
Yeah, actually volunteer. I volunteer, but it's very interesting. I do civil court mediation, community mediation, basically, helping people to get their money to, back, housing issues, stuff like that. So I do that on the side as well.
Oh, that's good. So what is your actual job then, Mel Mel?
Actually, I work at St. Patrick's. I work at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. I'm an usher there, usher supervisor, assistant supervisor. I deal with priests.
Nice to see on video.
Yeah. Well, I can't put it all on video. I actually got to work, but I've done videos from there before. Some of my vlogs, you've probably seen it, with the church and stuff like that. But I basically deal with priests, and I deal with tourists, dignitaries, stuff like that. All type of politicians, law enforcement agents, and all that stuff like that. In the context of a religious setting. To put it mildly.
God, that must be an interesting job then. And
no, it is.
You can't have been there long. What, about a couple of years?
No, I've been there. I've been there on and off since 2004. So I've been there for a little while.
Yeah, 13 years.
Well, yeah, so I've been.
So that job you lost at the time that you lost your grandmother, what was that job all about then, if you don't know?
That was actually, I was working in the shelter. I was working in the shelter system. That's when I had left St. Patrick's for a little while. Yeah. And I was actually working in women's shelter. It was a women's shelter that converted to a men's shelter.
Yeah.
So I lost my job there. And it was a tough time, but like I said, I went back to St. Patrick's. I've been back there for about 3 years now.
Yeah. Random Life says, goodness, Mel Mel does loads of stuff. Yeah.
I do. As there's things that I'm not even talking about that I can't really get into deeply right now, but yeah, I'm trying to stay busy. You got to stay busy. There's opportunities out there.
So you didn't elaborate anymore on In This Broken World.
No, I can't. I was waiting for that.
Yeah. Why live forever? So I'll ask you that question. Would you like to live forever?
Yes, I would. I would like to live forever. But that was the question though. It's like, in this broken world full of violence, full of hatred, full of bigotry, full of racism, pestilence, all kind of violence, why live forever? It's like take the worst day of your life, right? Or the worst thing that you could imagine, and picture it just being on an endless loop, and you had to live through that each day. It's like, why would you want to experience that forever? And that's the context that I was going from when I said that. I was like, okay, if you take the worst possible situations that can happen and you compounded them on you, why would you want to experience this on this planet forever? And that's where I was coming from. Yeah.
And this is another question that I want to ask is, when you do your live streams about different subjects, you've always got that timer with you set to a particular length of time. Because I found that I just get into it, and then the timer goes off and you go, it's time now, cheerio.
Yeah.
Because go on, Mel.
No, go ahead. Because I knew it sounded like you wanted to ask me something. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Because as I say, I'm just getting into it, and then you cut it off, and I'm thinking, God, he's just getting to the juicy bits. Why is it? You've left it for another time.
That's the suspense right there. What I do that is because I have certain people that I know personally. They say, look, I don't want to watch a long video and whatnot. And I try to respect people's time. I would love to talk for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, but also too, I have to get up and I have to do things. And like I said, if I'm into it, this is my thing. If I'm talking to somebody like I'm talking to yourself, I have no problem going an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But I do feel like, if I'm sitting there for 3 hours by myself, talking to people, I might want to cut that short. That's just me personally. It's a personal preference.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
Well,
say it's no wrong or right way.
no, I'd be the same now, Mel Mel, because if I was talking and just looking at the comments, I'd last about 5 minutes. But when I've got a face-to-face, like we are,
Yeah,
or when I do a group live stream, then
yeah,
you've got interaction and you've got feedback
exactly.
and everything like that, and you can see what's happening. Whereas when you're just doing like Granny Monster does, I could never do that, because after 5 minutes, I'd be lost for things to say.
Well, Granny Monster is good in how she does it because Granny Monster has different topics and things she wants to talk about, and she's a comedian, so she can twist something and turn it into the funniest of situations. Like I was talking about something about abuse, and I didn't want to make it into a comedy thing, but she came in there and started talking about whips and chains and stuff like that, and it was funny. But she has a way of doing that, bringing levity to any situation. But also too, what most people don't know, when I come on my live streams, I do have a list of subjects and things that I want to talk about. But I just try to respect people's time and I try to make it a time situation.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you now, what's the next subject?
See, that's an interesting one because I have a myriad of things actually that I could talk about. But I think the next one would be what Free Music asked me. I know you heard Free Music. Free Music asked me to talk about other YouTubers supporting other YouTubers. I think that may be the next thing that I talk about.
Oh,
Just showing support because we need to understand that we're the community out there that's making this thing possible as far as this platform. Because without the people, what is YouTube?
yeah,
It's just a website. So
yeah,
we're the people. We make this platform what it is,
yeah.
and just because you're not a big YouTuber, just because you're not somebody out there getting the big dollars, doesn't mean you shouldn't be supported. Doesn't mean you shouldn't support other people.
No,
And I just want to talk more on that.
yeah. Because Random Lives put down, she's answered Matt's big dream, and she put down, I tried with the timer, but the boys don't stop chatting. Well, if you've
Yeah,
ever
well,
been in A channel, it's Air who never stops chatting. Sorry about that, Random.
I'll say it like this: yeah, the banter that you folks have back and forth is very entertaining. It's very entertaining, and I think Random Life she holds her own. She holds her own. You
Yeah,
know.
she does.
Yeah. It's been some times where you've had some interesting conversations, yeah, to say the least. Yeah. So
Okay, I know you're a busy man, Mel Mel.
no, do you have any more questions though?
Uh, let's see, I'm just having a look what I've done. Love more, hate less. That was another one that I watched of your videos. Your thoughts
Hmm.
on life in general?
My thoughts on life in general. My thoughts on life in general, if we go to the context of that, um, I think people should spread love more because it's easy to hate. It's easy to hate. It doesn't take anybody you don't need a PhD to go out there and hate somebody, but it does take a lot of courage to love, to be willing to see past prejudices, your own insecurities, and reach out to the next person and be kind towards them because you never know what another person is going through.
Yeah,
You may be having a bad day, and then I come into the situation and I treat you like trash and I make it even worse. There's people out there who are suicidal. There are people out there going through different type of anxiety. There's people that lost loved ones, that have lost children, that have lost money, that have lost property. And why make somebody else's life worse because you don't know how to love or you don't care about other folks? I mean, so like I said, if that makes any sense, I think
yeah,
people should spread love more, you know.
yeah,
And to add to that, we do, to be realistic about it, we do live in a world of opposites. We do live in a world where people do have hatred. So I say not to let hatred overcome you, but overcome hate with love.
yeah. And I think on that note, then, Mel Mel, we'll finish this one-to-one. I've appreciated you coming on, and I've enjoyed this chat with you, or this discussion with you. I've enjoyed all the people who have been in the chat room as well. So I will catch you on your next video then, Mel Mel. And as I say, I really appreciate this.
Well, I appreciate it too. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everybody that came into the live stream. Thank you for everybody that's going to watch, and upload later on. And, reach out, shout me a holler. I'll holler back at you. And I'll see you out there, Eaglevp, in the next live stream, wherever that may be.
Okay, then. Thanks a lot, then, Mel Mel.
All right. Peace to you.
Peace. Bye, then.